Bugün 7 Eylül 1990 Cuma, Amiral Cener'in bin dönörü var. Navsouth karargahında.
Next week should work out. All work in playmaking. Let me see your camera permit.
Hi, sir.
Where's your camera permit? Let's confiscate the camera.
Bir de oğlan.
I already planned for 2 nights because of that problem. We may only stay 1 night before the next day. We may stay 7 hours. That's why the road may be full of
Oh, I told her all right. I told her.
I wanted to make quite sure we had this opportunity for me to say a few words before they left. And all of us here know Admiral and Mrs. Jarnell very well. And they are very much in our thoughts and in our affections, all of those who have operated and worked at Navsouth. Admiral Jarnell, for the last 2 years, has been the Assistant Chief of Staff for plans and policy. It's not an easy job. Not at all an easy job. In a way, it's a rather indefinable job doing plans and policy. You get instant remits, paper about 35 pages long, and replies required by Monday maybe, or Tuesday, something very complicated. And in all that, you've got to try and gauge the future thoughts, the future of Europe. Miracle if you can guess the future of Europe, and you think a year ago from now what has happened, and indeed the last month has happened at least. So plans is never a very easy task to have. And it needs someone there who's able to give good guidance, who's able to compromise with a lot of common sense, and above all, a great deal of humour. And all of these we have had in great measure from Admiral Jarnell. And we all know, who have been in this business, that the relationships he has had with all of us and with all the ACOSs has been of a very warm nature, and one always where compromise, the ability to compromise, has been uppermost in his mind. And I think from that point of view, if I may say so, he's been a shining example to all of us, and in particular to all his colleagues and all the Turkish officers who have worked in this building and in Maramed and Kotzabeh. Just 3 instances of what has come across his desk and his division. The Deed Hornet plans, which I know is blazoned on Captain Slocum's heart and will be for years to come, but that's all in plans division. Or the coordination agreement we've been working on with Spain, and indeed the GDP, which is still lurking around, and no doubt we'll be sending it to Turkey soon for implementation and so on, and I know when he'll get back there he'll sign it off quickly and send it back, saying agreed and everything. But all those are very delicate, very tricky, and all those have been his remit. Of course, Abu Janel, we all know, has had in his office various effects there and various items to help him in his work. I refer, of course, to the telephone. I refer, of course, to the music we have in there, and, of course, to his smoking habits. You may not all know that there's a new definition in the tobacco world now. It's called the Janel unit. And the Janel unit has been defined as the quantity of tobacco necessary to put into one cigarette, one cigar or one pipe to last for at least 2 hours. And Abu Janel's perfected this now, because he only allows himself, until recently, 4 units a day, but of course 4 times 2 hours is quite a long smoking day, really. With the telephone, as indeed his very special warm colleague, Commodore Panagopoulos, many of us feel that he has not needed to have IVSN or indeed a telephone line at all, because those in Ankara can hear him perfectly well, especially when he's standing up with a couple of pipes in one mouth. And HF or all these other funny things we have been an unnecessary impediment, almost, to him using it. The music soothes all of us who go in there with fire and brimstone breathing out of our nostrils and so on, and it immediately quietens down and makes sure that you see Admiral Janel's point of view instantly, and you agree to it and you walk out feeling much better. So, and of course, when the going gets really rough, he's able to do great smoke screens in there to make sure you can't actually see whether he's inside there or not. But Abu Janel is basically, if I may say, a people's man. You look at his career, he has served in patrol craft, served in destroyers, he's been involved more in operations than he has in plans. And therefore it is, I think, very fitting, and we're all delighted here, that he's leaving here to be the commander of the Turkish Naval Academy. Because I think for a job like that, you need example, you need motivation, you need understanding, and you need humour. And Abu Janel is never lacking in humour. He has a lovely style. We've always enjoyed for 2 years his wonderful remarks and his humorous touches on anything that goes on. Standing with him there is his wife, Mrs. Samra Janel, and many of us have had the great opportunity of seeing a great deal of her here at various receptions and parties, at the bazaar, at various baits, various events. And she has been, if I may say so, marvellously supportive of us, her husband, in all these events. Personally, my wife and I will always remember 3 particular things which they helped to engineer. One was our visit ourselves to Turkey, which was a great deal of effort preparing, which was a very special visit for us. Secondly, when we had the privilege of having them to spend Christmas with us last December, which was rather special for them because Christmas is not normally an event which you celebrate as we do, and that was very special for us. And we should always remember our numerous visits to Pinatamari, either to your house or to other events, which have been so specially well laid on, which we have appreciated and enjoyed, as I know many of us have. So, his last week, his successor, Admiral Onik, arrives on Monday. He will have turned over on Friday of next week. And then, in usual Turkish style, he has about 48 hours to rush from here back to Turkey to take over. I keep saying, I think you other countries are very mean compared to us in not allowing your officers, senior officers, a little more time. And I keep threatening to ring up Admiral Jenaz, who I know, to say, give this poor chap a bit longer. He says, no, don't ring up, and everything will spoil it all. But anyway, he will leave here, and I think the plan is to go via Greece to see Commodore Panagopoulos, and go to Nepal, back to Istanbul, and then on eventually to the Naval Academy. Family and I hope very much to see you there again when we have the chance. We thank you all for your tremendous hospitality, your tremendous efforts to participate in everything that has happened here, and your wonderful style of humour and understanding for both of you. So, in bidding farewell, and I must be short because I know you want to go off to Little Penivanaku's honour ceremony starts quite soon, I will first ask my wife, Patricia. And then ask if I may present to her, firstly, press, an area you know very well down here. Your arch certificate. You'll find here, which is exactly 2 years to the day.
Everybody can understand.
And a picture of Mrs. Bell. Expecting
The second floor, third window.
to say for all of us, good luck to the Academy, and thank you for all you've done for us.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies, dear sir, in fact, in these kinds of farewell drinks in Navsouth, the event is one of normal social activities for everybody. But for the person who is living soon is a very sensitive moment. It seems to me the last few paragraphs of a very pleasant novel. I think most of us, generally, are not aware of the lovely and friendly environment of Navsouth while we are playing with our daily signals and files between hundreds of briefings and meetings. But in the last weeks, when you begin to look at behind, you understand the period which you spent here is really wonderful. So, first of all, I want to thank all of you for the friendship which has been shown us, to me and my wife Samra, in the last 713 days while we have been stationed here. On the other hand, I'm sure that so many memories will not be forgotten for many years, such as the leadership and flexible, smooth approaches of Chief of Staff for solving problems. And of course, the hospitality of King family and special Christmas night. Close coordination, real brotherhood, and strong support of Commodore Panagopoulos, and perfect relationship with Greek naval officers. As a host nation admiral, successful activities of Admiral Kidna. To chat with NATO captains from Komarayirmet and Komsapnet before SEC briefings. The big size concept documents and wonderful jokes of Captain Brown. The broken legs of Captain Gers, which I couldn't learn the real reason anyhow. And the wonderful pictures of Mrs. Gers. The ability of Captain York to produce very flexible sentences related with chronic problems as a son of the Shakespeare. Again, the friendship of Imbimbos since 1979, like all this. The sympathetic and very kind approaches of Commander Sassi and the great love between Flavio and Silvia. The perfect effort, effective enthusiasm, and respectful relations of Plans Division personnel, which I appreciated too much. The great support of Captain Slav in every field as a right hand of mine. Thank you very much, especially. And many other wonderful feelings from Italy. Roman life, Siena, Amalfi Drive, Firenze, Venice, and of course, Bella Napoli. So, before I say goodbye, firstly, I want to distribute some certificates beginning with Chief of Staff. Admiral Tita. Thank you.
Oh, surprise.
Thank you.
Captain Gertz. Captain Brown. Captain Brown.
Thank you very much.
Captain Yorkie was you.
Hello, sir. Thank you very much.
Captain Slacker. Captain Bozolu.
Yeah, wonderful.
Sassi is not here. This is for Sassi. Well, Commander Admiral Mr. Banda. But it was written. Secondly, I would like to present one small remembrance to Wardroom Mess President Shukubuzolu. I'm sure that this will reminds me almost minimum 2 years. While he's opening, let me continue. Thirdly, I want to thank Salvatore and his team especially for morning coffee. Fourthly, my appreciation for their support of Comandante Pezzulo and Capobianco. Fifthly and lastly, I would like to state that all you will be in our hearts. And please don't forget that your second home is in Istanbul. We will be extremely pleased if you visit us so frequently. Thank you and arrivederci.
Thank you.